The cruelest betrayals don't announce themselves. They slip in silently, hiding behind the ordinary. Sometimes, it's the small things that start to whisper the truth before your mind is ready to listen. That Tuesday morning began like any other. The sunlight spilled lazily through the blinds of our bedroom, casting thin golden stripes across the floor. Coffee steamed in the chipped mug I had bought years ago, the one Ethan always teased me about replacing. I cradled it in my hands, savoring the warmth, telling myself everything was fine. It wasn't. Ethan sat across the table, scrolling through his phone, nodding at the right moments as I spoke about mundane things. Groceries, laundry, the leaky faucet in the kitchen. He smiled when I laughed, laughed when I smiled. I should have known. Perfect practice, perfect mimicry. He was always present, carefully present yet somehow absent. When he kissed my forehead and left for work, I didn't notice the slight scent of something unfamiliar clinging to his shirt. It wasn't overpowering. It wasn't obvious. It was subtle, floral, almost innocent. But the human mind, when it wants to, notices. It files things away, storing them like clues for a later investigation you don't even know you're conducting yet. By the end of that week, the first cracks appeared. A small notification on his phone. Can't wait to fall asleep next to you again. No name. Just a heart. A pulse raced, yes, but not alarm. Not yet. I told myself the story every loving spouse, it's nothing. It's probably a mistake. It's probably nothing. The human heart is a patient liar. It waits while the truth sharpens its teeth. I didn't confront him. I didn't cry. I didn't throw the phone across the room or shout accusations that would be as fleeting as the morning coffee. Instead, I began observing the way he now kept his phone face down. The hurried calls outside, the sudden, late meetings. How, after work drinks, multiplied without explanation. How his once casual presence in our home had turned into a carefully choreographed performance. Every routine, every familiar detail, now seemed rehearsed. I noticed how he washed after returning home, carefully, as if scrubbing away another's presence. How he smiled at me with a precision that felt practiced. How he never lingered in a room for too long, never left a trace. I watched him. I cataloged. I waited. The first undeniable proof came 2 weeks later. I followed him, careful not to be seen. He drove to a neighborhood I had never visited, into a life that didn't include me. I watched from a distance as he opened the door to a small apartment. A woman emerged, barefoot, casual, smiling like she belonged. Ethan entered without hesitation, closing the door behind him. Something inside me shifted, subtle yet seismic. The ground I had thought steady under my feet had crumbled. I realized, at that moment, that the man I thought I knew had never truly existed. That night, I didn't scream. I didn't confront him. I cooked dinner, laughed at the right moments, smiled when he complimented me. Inside, my mind was a storm of calculations. I began to collect evidence. Emails he thought deleted. Calendar events inconsistent with his claims. Financial statements tracing the path of hidden transactions. I learned her name Lena. I discovered the apartment lease was under her name, partially funded by our joint account. He had told her I was unstable, distant, on the verge of leaving. Men like Ethan don't just cheat. They rewrite reality to justify their selfishness. Sleep became a luxury. I would lie awake at night, listening to his breathing, imagining his lies, cataloging patterns, memorizing schedules. My love for him died quietly, replaced by something sharper, clarity. I didn't want revenge born of rage. I wanted precision. I wanted inevitability. Weeks passed. I learned the rhythm of his double life. The hotel stays, the flowers, the weekend trips. Every lie was a thread, and I traced them all. I even learned he had photos. Photos of sunsets, of grocery lists, of moments he thought invisible. Each image was a breadcrumb leading to Lena. Then the plan began. The perfect stage would be Ethan's company gala. He was being honored for integrity and leadership. Surrounded by colleagues, friends, family, he asked me to attend. I smiled. Of course. Inside I was calm. Outside I was planning a revelation no one would forget. I had created a complete archive of his betrayal credit card statements, hotel confirmations, photos, emails, maps, texts, all meticulously compiled. I enlisted an old friend to make a slideshow disguised as a tribute for the gala. The transition, I instructed, had to be flawless. First, family photos. Then, seamlessly, the proof of his lies. Every detail, every timestamp, every betrayal. The night of the gala arrived. I was wearing a navy blue dress he always admired. I did my hair and makeup perfectly, calm as if nothing were wrong. Inside, I was ready for war. I handed the slideshow USB to the AV team. ensuring it would play exactly after the best man's speech. Ethan was confident, smug. He didn't know that the quiet, supportive wife he underestimated was now the most dangerous opponent he could face. The slideshow began innocently, pictures of happy families, moments of love, celebratory smiles. The audience clapped, laughed, nodded. Then it shifted. The first red circle appeared, a credit card charge for a hotel weekend he claimed was a fishing trip. Confusion rippled through the audience. Another image, Google Maps timeline showing him at Lena's apartment. Another, her handwritten grocery list. The room went silent. Ethan froze. The final image split the screen. Our wedding photo next to Lena's social media picture. In bold letters, "Congratulations on 20 years. I hope I can trust my husband for 5. The gasp was instantaneous. Whispers, stunned faces, his mother's sobs. Ethan's hand shook where it held mine. I let go. I didn't need to speak. The truth had done the work for me. I walked out, past the stunned audience, past the family and friends who had unknowingly witnessed the collapse of his carefully curated life, out into the cool night air. By morning, his world had crumbled. Lena knew. His colleagues knew. His reputation evaporated. Divorce was swift. He lost everything: money, home, respect. I didn't celebrate. I merely reclaimed what had always been mine. My story, my life, my peace. Months later, I saw him at the final signing of the papers. Hollow, shrunken, the man who prided himself on control was empty. He tried to speak. I met his gaze. I didn't destroy you, I said quietly. I merely held a mirror. You destroyed yourself the moment you chose to lie. I walked away. The betrayal was exposed. The revenge was quiet. The reclamation was complete. The strangest thing about reclaiming your life, it begins with noticing the smallest details, the ones that whisper truths you don't yet want to hear, and ends with the knowledge that you are whole, that you can survive, thrive, and rise again. I still drink coffee from chipped mugs. I still fold laundry. But now, when I look in the mirror, I see someone unbreakable. Not because I destroyed him, but because I refused to let him erase me.